Good morning. Good morning. I just need I don't know, a couple minutes to kind of get everything kind of figured out here. Um, sort of finishing a couple things at the same time as starting, which I probably should have waited and been late a little bit, but you know what? I didn't want to be late today. I wanted to be on time for you guys, and I really kind of owe that to God too, to be consistent, and I think that's important. Hey AJ, how you doing? You're probably the most consistent of the bunch. What's up, Faith? How you doing? What's up, Dev? How you doing, Dutch Sailor? And yeah, it's just man, Saturday. Something about Saturday, right? The weekend where it's the same time, right? Same bat time, same bat channel, right? But there's just something about the weekend that feels good, like it feels like the world is there's a different energy about the world. And I remember when I was a kid, right? My dad had this idea of like, okay, back then, like kids would have like newspaper routes, they would deliver newspaper. Now it's people in cars, if people do get a newspaper. I don't even know if they how that even still works anymore, but there would be like a certain amount of routes that didn't have kids to deliver, so they're like the manager, right, the guy that drops off the papers, right, would be stuck having to do it himself, and so on the weekends, right, the weekend papers were harder to deliver than the daily papers because they're a lot bigger, right. And so like my dad made this like kind of like a deal with the guy that like we would do all the weekend papers, for all the routes that didn't have people to deliver. And this guy would drop off like, I mean, I don't want to over exaggerate because I was a little kid at the time, like, so it seemed overwhelming, but it was like 500 papers or something, like dropped off at our house. And that's one thing I liked about my dad. He was very resourceful. Always found a way, to make money, to make a few bucks, And man, I remember rolling papers, man, all morning. Like we would start at like 4:30 in the morning, because you had to start early for that many papers. And then, but I remember the reason why I'm saying this is because on Saturday, I remember on Saturday, we would finish delivering the papers, and then like we'd be done by like still it'd still be like 8 in the morning, 7:30 or 8 in the morning, and then we'd go to like this donut shop and get like coffee and donuts, right? And so I'm sitting there with my dad drinking coffee and having donuts, and then I'd go home and there would be like 2 episodes of Batman. You guys remember Batman, the regular show? Like it wasn't even a cartoon; it was just like with Adam West, And so I would come home and watch Batman, 2 episodes of Batman. And that was like a huge weekend for me, And I miss those days. We're like doing like a ton of work on a weekend, more than I miss the days where like, we went to like Great America or Six Flags or something, Disneyland. Or I only went to Disneyland one time, but like even like days like big days where we went somewhere like big was not as good or memorable of a memory than working hard, and finding a way to make it, learning how to be resourceful when deadlines were due and pressure was on, and I was always grateful for my dad for that, that he taught me that no matter what situation you're in, right? No matter how bad it is or how desperate the situation is, there's always a way out if you have the right kind of attitude, Like if you think you're going to make it and you're looking for ways to make it, most of the time you do, And see that like helped me later in life with my with my faith in God, because I didn't understand how to trust something I couldn't see, I couldn't quantify that, and I didn't grow up in a religious house. I didn't um we didn't grow up with like um any kind of spirituality, really. It was we could have picked whatever we wanted to be. And what's crazy is, right, is that me and my brother are both Christian men, like my brother found God first and then became a pastor, like a youth pastor. And then he was on, I don't know if you guys remember the Power Team. They used to, like, I don't know, they're bodybuilders that rip phone books, and they go to schools and do assemblies and stuff. Like, my brother did that for a while. He was he was like a, I don't know, kind of like a wrestler, like that's what it reminded me of. But it was for God. And so he found God first, and then of course when I joined the military, right, there's no atheist in a foxhole, right? So once you start realizing your own mortality, you start thinking about those things a little bit. But there was still a lot to reconcile in my brain about, like, evolution and how our cosmology works, right? And so of course I became a Christian before all of that, but before flat earth and finding out that evolution, it wasn't true. But, like, finding out those things weren't true really increased my faith a lot, you know, because then there was nothing left to reconcile in the Bible. It was like, wow, then, these things are true now. The hardest, I think the hardest rabbit hole to go down was uh when when I like when I first realized, okay, there's no doubt in my mind the earth is flat, right? Once I got to that point, I was like, you know what? There still is one rabbit hole I've been avoiding, which is, which God is the real God? And that one really was hard for me, because I definitely didn't want to find out if it wasn't Jesus. It would have been, if Christianity wasn't real, right? Then almost didn't even want to know. But I went down that rabbit hole, and I'm glad to be where I'm at. I'm maybe I would have saved myself some grief by not going down that road, but I'm actually grateful that I did in some ways, because now I know for sure what I believe is true, as opposed to always having that doubt. And so I have zero doubts, and then, like, when you have zero doubts, your faith can be on fire. And sometimes I even, like, will push some of these things with with family members and stuff, because, like, I want them to feel the same fire that I feel. And so yeah. So what is this, Cindy? It says, did your brother also bang his head by opening a door quickly by bashing his head? No, but, like, I don't know if you remember the Power Team, Cindy. Like, they would go to, like, school assemblies or local churches, and, like, like, with the power of God, like, bend like a steel bar, or break bricks, like, with a karate chop, or rip phone books. And I mean, I mean, it was kind of cool, but it was like, I mean, it was something good for the kids, right? They got to see, like, feats of strength and stuff like that. Kids like that kind of thing. And then it's hard to, because wrestling is so full of occult symbolism. Like, there really is nothing like that for kids that, you know. I mean, who knows, man? It had a purpose, right? And my brother was good at it, and so I give him credit for that. I don't know if I would have been able to go down that road, but I mean, he even dyed his hair blonde and everything. They called him Nitro, and, like, I'm like, man, this is. But he would sign autographs for, like, hours outside of like outside of the church or assembly or whatever, the kids would line up and he would sign autographs. Like it was kind of cool. I mean, I remember the first time I saw him, like I lived in another state and he was just happened to he was going to be in that state to do like a show, and I went to go see him, and he looked totally different because last time I seen him, because my brother he was sick, he had cancer when he was young, right? So when he was a little kid, he was very sickly, and then when he was like 15, he probably looked like he was about 11, he was just a sick kid, tough kid, but he was sick, and he went in remission with his cancer, and had several surgeries, but then like he became like a bodybuilder. So like he went from being like this sickly little kid, to being this like enormous man, and it's kind of like how big my kids are, I mean, he's a little shorter than both my kids, but he was a big man, Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hey, you know what it is? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, you're right, Captain Stinka. I mean, like, I was in the military, and I'm proud of the little career I had in the short, but in hindsight, I don't think I ever would have done it again. I don't think um I don't think I would join knowing what I know now, but like at the time I had no idea. So, what are you gonna do? I mean, I know a lot of good people that join the military. They're like very naive young people, and God bless them, I just wish the best for everybody, I mean, yeah, I mean, like we all get caught up in these things, right? And like the way this world is with all this deception everywhere, right? Is like you basically everything in this world is like set up to separate us from God, So at some point in your life, right, if you live during this time, right, um, you're caught up in some kind of Satan agenda, right? And the web is so thick with deception, right? And so you know, like even as awake as we are now, there's still deceptions that we're not um, completely open to, right? Like there's things that we still haven't learned, right? Layers of deception, right? Like we know that certain things are deception because of other stories, but we don't even know if those stories are even true, Like we're still putting it together. Like we don't know how true history is or how true, obviously science is falling apart, right? And so they mix it in with so much true stuff that you almost wonder, like, like, like if you separate the truth from all the lies, right? What would you be left with? What kind of structure would you be left with? Would life even look the same? Would we even operate as, the way we've been living our lives? You know what I mean? Like, would days even matter? Would weeks matter? Would time matter? Like if we lived differently, those things would matter less, like if like we went to work when we woke up and got was done working when we were tired. Like I mean, like think about like if we weren't on a clock, like what if we so there's all these different ways that you could live, right, that would change the world drastically, so who knows, right? I mean, we all get baited into crap, oh, don't worry about it, Deb, you're always going to end up with somebody that's going to ask um crazy stuff, and to be honest, maybe they'll hear the right thing and change, that's what I hope happens, right? I hope that oh, what does it say here? People are so brainwashed into believing that being in the military and fighting wars is something to be proud of. Well, I mean, you know what? I mean, Captain Stinko, I mean, you're talking about like 18 and 19-year-old kids, man. I mean, some of them live in rural parts of this country where there's no jobs. I mean, it's like a gas station and a liquor store and a coal mine or something like that. And I mean, we're also limited to our choices too, right? Like, yeah, I had a lot more choices, right? But you have to consider everybody's like. There's a lot of variables that go into making big blanket statements like that. And for you to just make statements like that like people are supposed to know. You know what I mean? Like, plus every kid is told many lies before they sign up for the military. And how do you know it's not like their family business? Their uncle was in, their grandpa was in, or I mean, how do you know there's not family pressure too? I mean, there, there's so many variables to consider, and each situation is unique, right? I learned that a long time ago not to do that, not to paint a broad brush onto people. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not good, right? You know that, and I know that, right? But that doesn't mean that everybody knows that. You know, there was a time where I thought that we were the good guys, right? That like we were gonna save the world, and install governments in every country that were gonna be like America. You know. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, yeah, you can say that, Cap. Yes, you're right, but also people are brainwashed in general. Even if they aren't, even if they haven't joined the military, they're brainwashed in general in this country. We we're born, we go to school, we're brainwashed. So I would say just try to be sympathetic to people, that you know may have like parents or grandparents or whatever that gave their lives for being in the military. They're going to obviously be sensitive to that kind of talk, right? And like how many people do you gain for the kingdom of heaven by making statements like that? I mean, I guess if you went to somebody that was about to join the military and started talking about that kind of stuff, maybe you could help somebody. Nobody's saying it's right. I'm just saying it's like, yeah, yeah, it's horrible. I mean, war is horrible. I mean, there's no good cause for any of it. And what sucks is the people that decide to have war aren't the same people that have to go fight it. You know, it takes a lot of money to make a commitment like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not only both sides, but each individual person has their own reasons for doing whatever they do. I mean, if I would have known everything involved with it, would I have done it? I don't think so. Probably not. Like, I mean, like joining the military for me was something that just kind of came out of the blue, as well, here's one option that I can do. Cause like me and my wife were already married, like I guess we were almost married 3 years, and we wanted to have kids, right? And the way it was so expensive to live in California, and I didn't have a good enough job to take care of us and have kids. And so joining the military was just one option, out of a few options. And it just was the easiest one to get into, to start. And once I started, I just saw it through, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the most important thing is God, right? I mean, we're all characters in His creation, right? And so, if you look at it like this, right? Um, because we have the Bible, this is what's so great, right? Is that we know that the story is written. It's over. It's done. God created the beginning from the end, right? Everything has been created and it's finished, right? And so everything that is supposed to happen and is going to happen in God's world is already happened, right? It's done. So everyone that's supposed to make it's going to make it. Everyone that's not going to make it is not going to make it, right? Um, we have free will, right? And we're playing it out, right? But there's no information we can add to God, right? Like it's not on us uh, the total outcome is not attached to us, right? It's God's outcome, right? And we're just playing our part, right? What's that face? Says I'm so glad to see. Okay, well you asked me a question and I missed it. Oh, it says Steve. Do you see who's uncool? Where's that? Is there? Oh yeah. I see you. Uncool, paranoid. Okay. Any day above is a good day. Oh yeah, any day above ground. You're right on that. But you know what? I almost disagree a little bit, right? Like I'm like outside of this body, right? I would probably be much happier, But I get your sentiment on that, Absolutely. Yeah, we have free will, right? Uncool. We have free will, and just because God knows the card we're gonna pick doesn't mean that He's picking the card. But He absolutely knows what card we're gonna pick. It's not like there's some kind of information that's like, uh, that God doesn't know about that we're gonna somehow reveal to Him. Like He knows all of that. He's the one that defines what happens and what doesn't happen, defines what good and bad is, right? Like everything God does is the way it's supposed to be, right? Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, welcome, definitely welcome, Uncool Paranoia. I'm glad that you're here. That's awesome. I'm glad you like it's tough to find this chat because just to be a truther in general is tough, right? But then to find like a truth channel where we talk about every truth subject without, you could bring up everything here, and we'll talk about it. I'll give my opinion on it at least, right? And then this is also a Christian channel, so this is like a very very niche group of people, It's a very small group, and you would hope that like everyone that is a truther would end up being a Christian, but it seems to go two ways, right? It seems to go that they either pick some kind of witchcraft or some kind of Nate, some kind of Satan type, Luciferian type stuff, or they pick being a Christian. It's like not every truther is a Christian. Even though they know the truth, that's hard for me to even think about or reconcile. I can't imagine anybody not wanting to be saved after this life. I mean, unless they really just don't believe it. Yeah, I can't imagine being a truther all the way to the point where you've uncovered like even flat Earth and the Hollywood inverts and all that stuff, right? The all the occultism and the political stuff and that kind of climate. And then you get to the point where it's going to profit you, right? And then you don't quite get there. That's sad. Man, I'm not feeling too well today, guys. I could probably carry you guys for another 10 minutes. I wish that it could be longer. It's like I don't know, like some type of not nausea, but like I don't know how to explain it. Like yucky, just kind of a yucky feeling. And I did go out yesterday, right? I went out to I went to the hospital even, not for anything I needed, just like I mean for my normal appointments or whatever. But I don't normally go out that much. I stay in because of all the restrictions for COVID and all that. It's just like it gets to you, you know. And then out here in this state, right, people are so serious about everything. It's like if you don't wear a mask, right, it means that you don't care about people. I don't understand how people let the government pit us against each other, you know? Where it's like if you don't get the jab, it means that you don't care about people and you're the reason why everyone's wearing a mask. It's like, no, 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 no. They're making you wear a mask and we don't want to get their juice, you know? Like, blame them for the mask, not us, you know? And then once somebody does get the juice, right? It's, once somebody does get the juice, they want you to get the juice because they got it, you know? Oh, yeah, no, it's not the mark of the beast, man. Just get it. And it's like, that's not the point, whether it's the mark of the beast or not. Of course, I care, right? But I'm not going to get it even if it's not, you know? I'm gonna I'm gonna do what I do, you know. You're not gonna make me take any kind of stuff I don't want. I already take enough stuff I don't want to take. Yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling so nauseated. You know, maybe that's just a good sign because I am slowly like coming off some of like medications I've been on for a long time, and I started that process last year, and I wanted to do it a lot faster, but it's going to take a lot longer. And I hate having to have patience for that kind of stuff. I want it to be now. You know, I like ever since my face got so strong, right, the way it is now, right? Um, it seems like things have happened in miracle form, right? Like I'm used to things happening right now, you know? And that could you could get spoiled with that kind of stuff, you know? And so I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I wish I could get every one of my loved ones to feel what I'm feeling about God though. You know, just I'm excited about the afterlife. Like I'm not suicidal, but man, I can't wait to get there, you know? I mean, I can't wait for God to come back, you know? And I talked to some people that, I mean, that I know are saved people, and they're like, oh, yeah, you know, just whenever that happens, you know, not right away, though, you know? And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want, I can't, like, I can't, like, reconcile that. Like, if you believe you're going to the kingdom of heaven, why would you not want that to start today, you know? But I guess there are things people do want to hang on to a little bit, you know? Who knows, you know? Oh, guys, be nice to each other, you know? I mean, I know how it looks. We've been deceived so much in our lives that it just makes us paranoid to each other, you know? Like, but, you know, we got to start having just a little bit of compassion towards, you know, for each other. So if people do question you in a weird way, then just kind of, just, you know, just try to be sympathetic to the fact that we've all grown up being lied to, right? Well, come on, guys, man. I mean, we finally made it all the way to this point, right? We're awake, we're Christians, right? And we're around other awake Christians. And my guess is this, that you two in this chat, right, agree on more things than you and any one of your loved ones at home, right? If you could get your loved ones to agree to the stuff that we know in here, right, that would be a long way to bring somebody. So with the minor differences that we have in here, right? Yeah, it could seem bad because we like argue with each other all the way until we get to the truth, right? And so, yeah, we're very strict on each other, but if there was another person that agreed this much with you on this many topics, right, you would be happy, right? So try to understand that, right? Not everyone's going to get along, right? Because we're all like, um, we're all avatars, right? We're like, it's not like we're people in a room where we could look at each other, right? It's like the world exists online now where it's a little more anonymous, right? You know, it is what it is, right? Yeah. And you know what? It's like, you know what? But it's like sometimes people just need to kind of have it out a little bit, you know? Sometimes it just is what it is, you know? And I don't like anybody fighting uh either, but I can understand people being paranoid. I mean, when people are new or whatever, and just try to be understanding of that. I mean, yeah, I mean, ideally we all want to be welcomed in the best way, and but some people need more work than others. Some people need more patience than others, right? It sucks, right? Because like this is one thing I've learned about being in this position, right? Is that I can't make everybody happy, right? And so until I really have a chance to look at all the variables involved, right? It's hard to like figure out and fix it on the spot. So all I could do is ask for people like, okay, well, how about let's just not do it now and trust me to handle it later. That would be cool, you know. That would that would probably be the thing that I would want the best, right? Is let me handle it afterwards, you know. Um, and most likely it's probably some miscommunication or most of the time that's what it is, or misunderstanding or not knowing what the other person has been through. Because there's sometimes there's situations that go on where somebody has been like, you know, went through a lot of abuse or a lot of adversity in life, and that other person just didn't know that about that person or something, you know. And so there could be so many things that could be, yeah. And I wish I could just jump in there and fix it, right? But if I don't know, right, then I don't know. Well, we don't. Well, anyway, I don't want to get involved too much about arguing about what the situation is, but I'll definitely look at it, and it'll probably be like not as bad as we all think. But I'm just really grateful that you guys are here today. Wow, 25 in here today. I mean, that's something to celebrate, you know? Like, I feel pretty happy about that. I mean, hopefully, like, there's even some people that are lost, you know, that are watching because, for anybody to get to the point where they get to hear that Jesus gave his life to pay our punishment, right? To reconcile us, to redeem us, right? And God gave up everything he could give up to save us, And I think that that's a beautiful thing because we're God's idea, right? Everything about us was thought up by God, our personality, every detail of our selves, right? And he wants to spend eternity with you, you know? And so if you aren't saved and you're listening right now, read Romans 10:9 in the Bible. That's as simple as it can get, you know. But if you believe that Jesus died for our sins and that God raised him from the dead, then we'll be saved, man. That's it, you know. Yeah, I that's the thing. Uncool paranoia. I just want to keep moving forward. Like my whole thing is I want to reach 1 to 200 people that I already have as subscribers, and then I want to try to reach another 100 people, you know. And like I haven't been able to reach 100 people. I don't know yet. I've gotten half that many, but my goal is to 100 people that I've never talked to before. Um, online, and I get caught up in chats and stuff, and sometimes get beat up pretty bad in some, because I go to chats where there's a lot of lost people. Sometimes, and I will get ganged up on and beat up, But sometimes that's where you got to go fishing, and sometimes you if you invite the wrong person over, it could come with a whole lot of trolls, and you end up with a situation that you've got to fight for, a long period of time, and so who knows, man. We get attacked so much. Today has been pretty smooth. Who knows? Maybe it's the quiet before the storm, but we get attacked so much here, it's unbelievable, But that's part of it, right? Jesus said that that would happen, so it's like makes you feel like you're on the right side of it, right? If the world hates you, no matter like even if you're getting better every day and the world hates you even more, and like, you know what I mean, then you're on the right track, because a lot of times people are gonna hate you just for being good, or for trying your best, or because that you have this life-saving faith inside you that makes you feel happy, I mean, there are some people they just don't like you just because you're happy. I mean, and that's what's crazy, man, is I mean, there's just some acceptance that goes in that, right? There's going to be people that aren't going to like you. That's just the way it is, no matter what you do, no matter how you figure it out. Because I used to be one of those people, and I still am in a way, where I want everybody to be happy, right? So I try to like maneuver everything to make, to fit everybody, right? But in reality, there are going to be people where it's not going to matter what I do. They're just not going to like me. And that's just the way it is. And so that's right. That's right, Faith. That's it. They hated him first, and they're going to hate us for his sake. And so, like, uh, I'll say this, for at least the last 4 years, right? I've been a Christian a lot longer than that, but like the last 4 years, not only have I bought in, right, but I've sold out to God. I mean, everything. Like all my chips are in one basket, and I am proud of it. You know, I'm proud to go down swinging, and that's just the way it is. Hey, AJM, how you doing? No, don't worry about being late, buddy. Come on now. Like okay, okay, with me and you, AJ, it's like I've known you so long. It's almost like we have one continuous YouTube. It's like you're never late. I just keep re-seeing you over and over again. We're still on YouTube from 4 years ago. Oh man, I remember all them early flat Earth days, man. All the content and all the debates and uh we made it through all that. Now someone can become a flat earther in one day with just, the right videos. We had to put all that stuff together piece by piece. One little evidence at a time. I mean, Eric Dubay did a good job of putting all that together, but a lot of the stuff has just been put together like the last few years. Nathan and all those guys and Jaron and a lot of those guys, but well, anyway, I tried to push through as much as I could. I really wasn't feeling that good today, to be honest. And I did want to go, like, I know tomorrow's Sunday, so let's try to go long tomorrow and maybe have some people on the panel. I think that would be fun. So if, think about, like, if you guys want to come on, right? I'll put a community post out and just like click on there and say if there's anything you want to talk about or if there's any ideas or anything like that, and we could just have like a cool little hangout tomorrow. And I'm sure I'll be feeling better tomorrow for sure. It just always happens when I go out and I come back. It's like something about the air out there ain't right. If I'm this sensitive to like um, feeling almost unhealthy every time I leave the house, then there's something going on out there. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that, Faith. I mean, I don't sleep a lot. I sleep about an hour at a time. sometimes 2 hours, and yeah, it's good in the sense that you can always get a hold of me within a few hours, but like it's hard to not have that continuous sleep. And I had a pretty like detailed dream about the mark of the beast, right? But I can't remember how my dream was, right? Because I was thinking about it immediately after I woke up. The more I thought of it, the more it went away. So I'll hopefully that'll come back in detail because I remember it not being the way I thought it was going to be. And so that would be nice to talk about that dream if I can remember it. Hopefully it comes back to me because that would be a cool show. And yeah, you know what, Cindy? That's what's crazy is you're saying skin flaking and all that. Like, so okay, my friend got the V, the Vax, right? And he was taking me shopping, right? Grocery shopping. And now I don't know if that has anything to do with it. He got the Vax or whatever, but I noticed that I got in his car and I was, of course I just took a hot shower like right before I left. But like and it's that was pretty late in the day for me to usually take a shower. I usually take a shower in the morning. But yeah, like my skin was like real dry on my face. Like I was like, "Oh my God, am I shedding?" Like I mean, it was like noticeable. Like, "Oh my God, like there's like skin coming off my face." Like I mean, I was disgusted with myself. I mean, I guess he didn't notice and I even pointed it out and it wasn't enough to where anybody else noticed, but it's like, man, it's still, and maybe it's I'm kind of a perfectionist too. Like I always have like some kind of insecurity with that. Like so I just don't even think about how I look anymore. Well, now I'm old enough now where it doesn't matter. Who cares now? But yeah, man, that's it's scary when you start going through stuff like that. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, I love you guys, and God bless you, and of course, praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace, because I mean that's our way out of here. And thank God that we have a way out, and that Jesus has shown us so much grace. Breaks my heart that He had to go through any of that. I would trade places with Him in a minute. To take that off of Him. But that's it's heartbreaking to me. But we are where we are, and we're gonna go where we're gonna go, and that's all because of Him, right? And so, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest. Thanks, Cindy. And guys, don't worry about like if we all like run into situations where we don't get along or we might bark at each other, but just dust off your spirit, show up tomorrow, and start fresh. It shows a lot about our character if we just keep showing up, right? And that's what's really gonna really make the most difference is not how much we put in, but how consistent we can be. And so, yeah, God bless you guys, and praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock.